what is going on YouTube? Colt here, back again with another video. And today, there has been a Black Ops 3 patch note update for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on the PS4. So, today when you open your PS4 and, you turn it on, they're going to be having a download on your PS4. It is 9.5 gigabytes. So, yeah, but it is version 1.06. And these are the patch notes that came out with today's update. And I'm going to be going through the patch notes with you guys, reading them off so you guys know what the patch notes are. Usually I make a video like just explaining the only important ones, but today we're just going to grind through all the patch notes and go through all the things that they did today. So hopefully you guys enjoy this style of a video better than what I usually do. But anyways, so starting off with the general, they removed a UI error that occurred if players were idle for a long period of time at the main menu. They fixed issue where DLC 1 purchases, they fixed an issue with the DLC purchases, and then they added where you have to play 25 games in a game mode to be ranked by score per minute. The friends list filter is disabled when a player has over 100 friends on a leaderboard to prevent a known issue, and they are further investigating. So those are the general things that they added, and I'm sure you guys don't care about, that's not something that's an issue for you guys. But moving on to the general gameplay, they fixed an issue where hit markers moved off center when a player was taking damage. And I feel like this is going to be huge because a lot of people have been playing, I think this might be, I think they might have fixed the hit markers. I don't know. People were complaining about the hit markers the way they were, so they could have fixed that. That's pretty cool. Either way, I have no problem with the hit markers, so it doesn't, it doesn't affect me. And so yeah, if you were upset about the hit markers anyway, I think they fixed it. So yeah, but nonetheless, Specialist, the Outrider Sparrow increased ability to hit enemies. And that's a huge update. The Sparrow's a fun specialist to use. It's not using competitive too much, but it is a fun pub specialist. It's a lot of fun to use. I will admit, when the game was in beta and it first came out, I was having such a blast with the Sparrow. So I'm glad that they buffed the Sparrow. That's super cool. Specialist Nomad Rejack, increased remaining power when player terminate. That's huge for the Rejack. The Rejack, it's not used very much, but it needed a buff in my opinion. So yeah, the Prophet Tempest. I think the Tempest needed this because I don't know. I just think it needed a buff, but I think it's going to be a lot more used in competitive now that it has this buff. The NA players didn't use it as much, but the EU and Australian players use the Tempest a lot. So maybe we'll see a few more North American players in competitive use the Tempest now, but. Nonetheless, the guns. Let's get into the guns. Assault rifles. They increased the long distance damage range, which is huge for the ICR and the HVK. They did every single assault rifle except the KN. It's medium distance instead of long. But I don't agree with the Shiva buff. I think the Shiva is already good, so I don't like the Shiva buff. But the rest of the guns I think needed them. So I have no problems with the ICR, HVK, and KN44 getting buffed. I think the KN44 needed it the most out of all the guns, but nonetheless, I still don't agree with the Shiva buff. I think it's too good as it is, and they just made it better. I don't agree with that, but nonetheless, submachine guns, Vesper. This is huge because the Vesper used to be the best gun in the game, and now it's hardly used, which is so huge. It's not as overpowered as it was, And this patch note, the patch for the Vesper came out on Friday, but I think they're just releasing the patch note for it today. So nonetheless, the Vesper has a huge recoil now. Like literally, it's insane how much recoil the Vesper has. It's crazy. But and then they reduced hipfire accuracy, which is huge too because the recoil is out of the roof, and then it's going to be harder to get a kill hip firing as well. So the Vesper literally that's a huge nerf. And it needed it 100%. And I'm sure everyone can agree with that. The Vesper definitely needed that nerf. It was the most OP gun in the game. And it could outgun an AR I hated the old Vesper. I'm glad it's nerfed. But Weevil, increased medium distance damage range in hardcore mode. And I was so sad when I read in a hardcore mode when I first saw these patch notes. I was so sad because I thought they were finally going to buff the Weevil. Hashtag Nadeshot. Woo! But, you know, they only buff it in hardcore. Nonetheless, sniper rifles, Locust, increased weapon switch speed, and I'm sure that's going to be huge more for like the sniping community and trick shotters. You know, they'll be able to switch weapons faster, YY faster, and hit some amazing trick shots that way. But yeah, score streaks, power core, cost decreased to 1250, duration increased to 60 seconds, and fixed an issue where the core would occasionally fail to destroy on a counter UAV. But I'm sure for those of you that use the power core, they you know, made it easier to get, and they buffed the things about it. So, but I have never used the power core, but so I mean that has no effect on me. But for those of you that use it, there you go. Maps. Now this is huge because there's been a lot of issues with maps lately and glitches, and if you guys haven't seen Clayster's video of why they got forfeited, I'm sure you guys have seen it and you know what's going on with that situation. But they needed to do this. They needed to fix like a few bugs with maps and stuff like that. But Breach, starting off with Breach, swap the number 1 and number 3 hardpoint vid zones. So as you guys know, Breach used to have the palace be the first hill. So inside of that palace was the first hill, and then the third hill was the mid box. And now it's switched so that the first hill will be the mid box, and then the third hill will be the palace area. So that will affect rotations. You'll have to like it'll affect the way pros play hardpoint, in my opinion. So that's huge. And then they adjusted the contest. If you guys don't know about the contest spot, you can sit outside of the palace, like behind a door and contest in like a glitch spot. And it was really annoying to play against. Like people would just contest there, and it was really annoying. But nonetheless, they fixed that, so that's huge. That's huge. No one's gonna use the contest spot anymore, so I'm happy they fixed that. But Combine, for those of you pub hardpoint players, they adjusted another contest spot that was similar to Breach on Combine, where you can contest the third hill without being inside the zone, if that makes sense. So Havoc, they adjusted a spawn points that would slightly drop the player to the ground when respawning. Infection, they added grenade collision on isolated area of infection wall. Redwood, removed rogue pickup prompt while playing search and destroy. Okay, yeah, and adjusting spawn points that would slightly drop the player to the ground when respawning. Okay, so Stronghold, this is the map that, you know, Clayster used his spot on top of the tree and what got them forfeited in the CWL. But they fixed that. That's the first thing that it says. Fixed exploit where players were able to get atop trees in several areas, and they added a kill progress to remove exploitable area near mansion. Okay, so yeah, they just fixed a few bugs on that map, which is huge. And now Gauntlet and Splash, and there was a lot of exploits on the new maps. So they fixed any issues that you guys had with the new maps. They basically fixed them, but I'm gonna read them off anyways. Addressed exploits where players were able to get to an unfair vantage point on the urban side of the map, fixed an issue where players were able to get outside of the map on the jungle side, and they resolved exploit where players were able to view through solid geo on urban side of the map. So that's huge for Gauntlet. I'm a huge fan of Gauntlet. I'm glad they fixed glitches on that map. But nonetheless, Splash, this was a huge map that had so many glitches that people found out about when it first came out, and they were kind of annoying. Like, I love the map Splash, but I would hate playing it for the fact that I was like, oh, people are going to get in glitches, and it's going to be annoying. So they fixed the glitches, and I'm just going to read them off anyways, like I said with Gauntlet. So fixed exploit where players were able to land on an invisible collision near one of the large torches on the east side of the map, giving them an unintended and unfair sightline. Addressed an exploit where players could get outside of the playable area near the Atlantis Riptide control room. Addressed collision to prevent players from getting to an unfair vantage point on the center of the map. Fixed exploit where players were able to get into the ceiling on the Atlantis building. And resolved exploit where players were able to gain an unfair advantage near the yellow tube on the center of the map. So that is huge for Splash. I am so glad that map is going to be much better to play now in pubs, and I hope you guys are excited for that, because that map needed some exploit fixes 100%. And now Game modes uplink. Removed aim assist while carrying the satellite drone. Now this is huge. This is a lot huger than people like peg it out to be, because now it's going to be a lot harder to smack people with the drone, and that's going to be huge and competitive, because I've heard a lot of people saying how easy it is to just slide and kill someone and smack them with the drone, and now it's going to be a lot harder because there's no aim assist, and that's going to be huge. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this multiplayer patch note update video. I'm going to be doing patch note updates video like this from now on, where I get in depth, like really in depth on the patch notes, and give you guys my opinions, and I hope you guys enjoy that. I prefer to do this video much better because it lets you guys know everything about the multiplayer patch notes. And if you guys want to see a zombies patch note video, I will post that up there as well, because there might be some of you that are huge zombies fans. So I will happily do the patch note update video if you guys comment and let me know that you want me to do like zombies patch notes updates as well, because I'm a huge zombies player too. I love zombies, and I consider myself to be a very fairly good zombies player. So yeah, so if you guys want that video, let me know and I'll happily do it for you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this patch note update video. I just thought I would get really in depth, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And I should have another video out today predicting the World League, so look forward to that. And this has been Colt, and I'm signing out. Peace out, guys.